Hi, friends. I wanted to talk to you about tumescence. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry, I'll explain in a moment. But first, a story. So, this week, an old client reached out to me because she was feeling overwhelmed with emotion, with rage, actually. And I don't know about you, but it seems like the theme this week for so many people, myself included, that emotions are at an all time high. Whatever your flavor is, it could be restlessness, irritation, sadness, grief, anger. But it seems like we've been in this experience for long enough. The compression has been building that at this point we are feeling more than ever. It could be that deeper content is finally getting an opportunity to come to the surface. I know that's at least in part of it for me, is feeling like a lot of old things that haven't been resolved, are rising up to be felt. And at times, it can feel much bigger than the issue itself. And this is where I come to tumescence. So, tumescence is energy that's blocked or inflated in our bodies. We all have energy. You can call it life force or chi, the erotic, but we all have it. We all have energy. And ideally, in the erotic, we learn to work with it. We learn to turn towards it and transmute it into something useful. So we do that through orgasmic meditation and sex and other practices. And if we don't do this, we experience tumescence. And mostly we experience it as irritation, restlessness, a feeling of being tired and yet wired, agitated, this sort of low-lying perpetual stress. So maybe, even outside of lockdown, those are familiar feelings to you. And those are the things that we learn to work with in the erotic. So instead of feeling it as agitation or tired and wired, we can take that energy and make it usable and use it for creation, use it for connection, have the experience of it as a real power in our bodies that we can direct in ways that feel good. Well, now here we are. We're in this experience of staying at home. We may not have usual access to our ways of working with tumescence, and it's growing. So I really wanted to remind everybody that tumescence is real, and emotions are made up of energy and content. So, usually we think of the content. It's what we think about it. It's the circumstances itself. All of the ideas that we have about an experience or something that happens. But their second component is equally and sometimes a bigger part of emotion, and that's the energy that's expressed as sensation in our bodies. And when this energy isn't freely flowing, when it is tumescence, when we're experiencing it as tumescence, it overinflates the emotion. The emotion becomes really, really big. In a way, it actually gets out of range and we can't stay conscious with it. So, inquiry, inventory, really getting in there and reflecting can be really helpful with emotions at times. These are all practices that I love. But when tumescence is fueling things, first of all, we want to handle our tumescence. Otherwise, we're doing all of this work with our emotions, which really aren't getting to the heart of it, which is, because the tumescence is so big and is overwhelming the process. So this week, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you can't sleep, but you're wired, if you're feeling incredibly agitated, anger, all of these things that maybe feel a little out of range or maybe inflated from the actual experience, look to tumescence. Remember, it's real.